Alright, so I've been posting a lot on my channel recently on self stuff, or my entire channel is self, so I decided it was probably a good idea to make a tutorial video on how to actually play self, because if you're interested but don't really have a way of finding it, I know a couple of the channels have created tutorials for this game in the past, but a lot of them are outdated, so I'm gonna be making the more recent version. I'm gonna have separate videos for tutorials on soul teleports and maybe a couple other advanced strats, or definitely a couple other advanced strats. So right now you can check out Rousercat's video on soul teleports. I'll put that in the description if you want to check that out. I'm gonna make a video on that soon though. Okay, so getting into the run, I am going to be doing the any percent route, so I'm not doing glitchless. Glitchless isn't, well, there is actually one major difference, which I'll explain later, but level 1 is pretty straightforward. You don't actually want to wait till you get to the bottom here. You get to the top, and then you press X, or whatever you use, X or J, when you're at the top, and then fall over to this orb here. Once you're there, you jump, hit that one to the door. I'll show that a couple more times. If you're going for more optimal timing, either you're doing soul teleports or you're making a little bit more precise jumps, but for the most part you can just do that and you make it there. It's the fastest way to do it, or it was the fastest way to do it till soul teleports. Again, different video, different subject. So yeah, now is time for me to explain one of the most important tricks in the entire speedrun of self, and that is moon jumps. Moon jumps are a very important section of the game that you need to know to play it. Now basically what moon jumps are okay, hold on, I'm gonna switch to a different version, and this I'll be able to show you a lot better how moon jumps work and what they are. Okay, so this is the IGT hack for self, which is going to help me give a little bit more demonstrations on how moon jumps are. So moon jumps are something where basically at the start of every level there's a time frame right about at the end of the loading screen. So the loading screen goes across the bottom, and right about at the very bottom corner, once it gets around there, you want to hold jump. And basically what that does, it gives you a weird boost in the loading screen. And if you do it right, you can get an insane amount of height, which saves a lot of time on almost every level where they're doable. So once you get in a little bit of practice, they're pretty straightforward to get. As you can see, I'm getting them pretty consistently, not really having any trouble with it. So yeah, the way it's incorporated into this level is you boost, or you do the moon jump, then boost onto this platform here. So I'll show an example of what that looks like that. And you jump, and then boost up here, like that. And if you do it right, sorry about that, this will take a few seconds, but if you do it right, actually you don't even want to boost up to here, you want to boost onto this one here. So if you do that, like this, perfect. On the final step of this level, you jump and boost into there, like that. So a full run of this level would look something like this. Once you get that, you can learn it pretty consistently. There's been many different strats in the past, but as far as I can tell, this is the fastest strat currently. So it's a good thing to know. If you do it right, it saves a good amount of time on your runs in the later game. Yeah, it's pretty useful. Alright, level 3. This is one of the few levels that moon jumps aren't necessarily a required thing. I'm going to show you the way most people do it, like this. This is how most people do it. Pretty easy, basic. And then the way I do it, which is used which I'm using currently, is every time I'm falling, I'm doing a boost, or even when I'm standing there, I'm doing a boost. And basically, if this is timed correctly, it saves a surprising amount of time, to be honest. If you do it like that, it's about a 407. The way other people do it, or most people still do it, is like 0.2 slower. So you can see how in the game like this, every small amount of time saved really counts, so it's good to know the best strats for it. Okay, this level, and you know how I said moon jumps are going to be required for almost every level? This is one of these levels. So you're going to do the moon jump there, you boost up to here, you fall, boost up here. Besides the moon jump, it's pretty straightforward. The way I do it as well, once I'm in this pillar, what I do, I go forward, then left, then right. So I go like this, up, left, right. And basically, if this is done right, it lets you get through this corner here faster, overall saving time. And then jump here, boost up, and fall into here. It is a very straightforward level if you know how to do the moon jumps. Even without it, it's pretty straightforward. Just do what you're comfortable with, and you should be fine. Now this level incorporates one of the hardest skips in the game that is still very commonly used, and that is called hard skips, obviously, which is a pretty fitting name. So if you time your moon jump well enough, you'll be able to fall onto that platform up there, like this. Once you know how, it's pretty consistent. I can get it almost every time. Played this game for a pretty decent amount of time now, so I know how to do this well. So once you know how to do that, once you make it here, you jump like that, and that's how you get that orb. In the past, people would just walk and fall, which does also work, but it actually saves a surprising amount of time to jump and drop down, just because of the momentum you get from doing that. Alright, in this level, or once you get to this section here, you're going to hold down while you're here, so then you fall to the platform. Well, that was obviously a very bad example, but if you do it like that, and you're going to be falling like, here, I'll show you. What you're going to end up doing is that you're falling to about here, and then you need to boost straight horizontally. This is a full boost, by the way. You do not stop your boost here. I don't suggest stopping your boost, at least, and that's the best way to do it. Now this level is called Laser 1, and for a pretty obvious reason, being that there's lasers here. This is another level that requires a slightly precise moon jump if you want to do it the fast way. That's the normal way to do it. You just boost up to it, and then you hit it. And there's a different strat, which I don't think I'm able to demonstrate right now, where you hit the top wall here, so your head falls down, and you fall down, and you get more momentum. And basically, you do that, and like that. Obviously, I messed it up there, but it's pretty linear. Like, if you know how to do it, you do the moon jump here, you fall, go left, jump. Again, this is hitting your head, so you fall down with more momentum. Then you go to the right, and you want to get as close to the corner as possible without hitting it, because that saves a good amount of time. Then, if you do all that right, you should be able to get a boost like that through both of the lasers. And this is what's known as a cycle skip, where you're skipping the first cycle, whatever you want to call it. You're just going through it on the first possible cycle. Then make it. This level, I'm going to be showing you the normal strat to do it, because I have a different advanced version for this level, which I'm not going to be showing you now because it is much harder to get. So the way I would suggest most beginners to start, you get to this platform after getting that orb down here, you just get to here, and then just wait for the lasers to go through, drop, and go through. That's pretty fast, decent. And then once you're a little more advanced, you can do something like this, where Basically, you're boosting just enough to get to that platform, and then barely getting this orb here with enough time to get to the platform without getting hit by the lasers. This is much more challenging than doing it the way I just showed before. I have a little bit less practice in it because I've been doing a new strategy, but you should be able to get the hang of it after a decent amount of time. Just as long as you're able to learn the strat, you should be able to know it. I'm doing this very poorly, but if you do that like that, just getting the right timing will guarantee that you do it well. So again, this is the other strategy for it. Just timing it right. Just as long as you're able to learn that, you should be good. Now this is one of the most infamous levels, known as Laser 3. So the way I would suggest beginners to do it, you hit the orb, jump, boost up to here. And I'm going to do this a little bit faster because I am on a time limit with the lasers. So I'm going to walk, jump, boost up here. Obviously that was a bad example, but boost up, and then get to this platform, wait for that, and go. And then once you're a little bit more advanced in the game, there's a different strategy that you're going to start using, which saves a lot of time compared to how you do this, which is the way most all top level runners do it, which is like that. It's much more precise, and you have to get something we call like a block clip on this platform here to be able to get enough speed to hit the orb and then be able to time it well enough to get to the top orb without dying. You have to do it very specifically, and if you do it well enough, it does take a bit of practice, but once you're able to learn it, it saves an insane amount of time. So being able to learn that. And one strategy that we do need, not really a strategy, but a technique, is once you're at the end of your boost, like right there, at the end of your boost, if you're holding a direction right before your boost stops, you're going to start going that direction faster than if I'm just going like that. So that's a tip that you need to know to do Laser 3 in the way that I'm doing it, the advanced strat. If you're not doing that, you're not going to make it. It might look close, but I can assure you it is not going to work. So that's the best way to do it. Now this is intermission. This is probably the most straightforward level in the game. You literally walk, you boost over this bench, and then you go across, and that is the entire level. The faster way to do it is you can do boosts horizontally like this, and then a shorter one there, boost across. But honestly, it's not that much of a difference. I would suggest doing it just because it is still time save, but it's still a very straightforward level to do. This is level 9, I believe, is the level directly after intermission. This level is also another level where you're going to incorporate moon jumps. So you're going to moon jump at the start here to boost through this, and so like that. These are recharge orbs, so basically what it does is it will recharge your soul boost midair, which is obviously something you weren't able to do before. So it allows you to do something like this where you boost up and then you can boost again. And then once you're there, you want to hold down, so then it gives you the ability to fall through the platforms instantly. If you're not holding down for that, I'll give an example of what that looks like. If you're not holding down, you're not going to fall through the platforms. So holding down gives you probably a decent amount of time save. And then you just do 2 short boosts there. Like you want to do those at basically as quick as possible. Like as soon as you can release it, do it like that. And that's pretty straightforward. This level is, obviously names aren't really that important this later in, because it's literally called like level 9, level 10. I'm only going to give names to the more infamous or important levels. This is not one of them. So for this level, you're going to moon jump, boost down and up. So jump, down, up. It can be based on the height of your moon jump, because there are different heights. You'll get it differently, but no matter how you do it, it's about the same time. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as you're able to do it, you're good. Like that. And you want to, this second part is a little bit more precise than you might think on being able to time it correctly to get this orb and get back up. So just keep that in mind. Alright, this level is called 10 frame. Or by the community it's called 10 frame because there's a 10 frame trick. Where if you do it right, and you time it, you are doing the quickest boost possible and barely hitting the hitbox of these orbs in order to get through that before the first cycle ends. And then it's like the fastest possible way to do this level. If you're a beginner and you don't want to do this, you can do stuff like this, where it's slightly slower, and if you do it right, it can still be a decent amount of time. Obviously, I'm not very good at it because I don't do it, but if you're a beginner and you don't want to learn this precise trick, feel free to do that instead. Alright, this level is called Moonskip, but it was only called Moonskip very recently because a new strat was found. So basically, if you moon jump at the start here, and you get the angle right, you can land there. But, okay, obviously you can land there. No one really gets the recharge orb up here. It seems kind of not useful at all. But then, so previously, everyone would just land on top of the platform like this. But recently, we found if you get the angle right, and again, it's very hard to do, you're able to fall through the platform first, like that. And that is a surprising amount of time saved, to be honest. So, being able to learn that, again, a different way to do it, you can wait a little bit and then jump, and that's a lot easier to do, but also it's much more precise, because if you want to do that in a run to tie like that, you have to time your jump perfectly to make it. And even then, it's probably slower because you have to wait, otherwise moon jumps are instant. And then boost through this, hit that like that. That is a very straightforward part of this level. Like, you just boost across and then boost across again. Nothing really to explain there. This level is called Block Skip. The start is pretty straightforward. You're boosting just over the spikes, and then if you're a beginner and you don't want to learn the skip, you boost up, boost across. But if you're trying to learn more skips to become a better runner, there's a couple ways to do this. You can jump and then hold. You can jump, hold down there, and then if you land on it correctly, you will get this orb and then go, and that's slightly faster. But the way most people do it is you boost into it, timing it correctly so that you will get your boost back just from landing on the platform. And if you do it right, such as that, you're barely getting enough momentum so that you're breaking these blocks, but then you're also getting your boost back, so you're able to do that. And it is also, I think, about a second. I could be wrong, but it's about a second of time save there, so which is impressive for such a small skip. This level is called Cycle Skip because you skipped the entire cycle for this level. If you get the moon jump here and then just keep boosting up with slightly short boosts, you're able to go through that. While otherwise, you would have to wait for this cycle to end, which is slower, obviously. So if you get the moon jump, it saves a time because you're able to get through that, you can boost through that, and you can get about 5-6 seconds. Meanwhile, if you're waiting like this is like 7-8 seconds. So you can just see how much slower it is and why it's important to learn that skip. It's probably one of the easier skips if you know how to do moon jumps. If you know how to do moon jumps, you can get this strat pretty consistently. Otherwise, it's very hard to do. As far as I'm aware, it's not possible without a moon jump because you're not able to get through that cycle. So you need to get the moon jump here in order to skip that cycle, and you're good. And then if you boost correctly at the top here, you'll be able to fall through instantly and onto here. And then we're on to the next level. Hard skip is called hard skip for a reason. Or I guess this is technically the second hard skip. There was a hard skip in the previous level. It's also called level 5 skip. This is the one more commonly known as hard skip. So this is another one that requires a moon jump, and specifically a higher moon jump in order to hit this like that. If you're a beginner, you can also do it like this. But basically, what you don't want to do is just use this recharge orb to get to this platform over here like that. It is much slower if you're doing it like this. I can assure you that is like 8 seconds. Even if you do the beginner, even if you do it like the beginner way like this, and you do it like that, because this top part's much easier to do, that's 6 seconds, and I was even waiting at the end there. And then once you learn the advanced strategy, you're able to do it in even less, like 4 seconds. So you can just see how important it is to learn that skip to be a top runner. If you don't know that skip, it's much harder to get to the top of like the leaderboards. So learning that is very important. This level is, we just call it third to last level because it is the third to last level. You hold down here, but you don't want to hold down too long, because if you hold down too long, you fall through those as well. So you only want to hold down for a little bit, and then you jump up, boost into this, and then use your second boost to get here. If you do it quickly, it'll look something like this. Or even, it can be done even faster just by getting cleaner movement, like that. Not too much else to say about this level. That's about all you need to know to do this level. And then the second to last level. Recently there was a strat found where you would walk across them like this, but it has been figured out that that is not as fast. So basically the way you want to do it, you just keep doing these boosts through the entire thing and you make it to the end. It's pretty easy, just keep boosting like this. It's kind of hard to mess up. You can also like jump there and do that if you want to be a little bit more careful, but even then it's still pretty easy no matter how you do it. Just as long as you're doing it well, you'll be fine. And on to the last level of Self. This is another level that requires a moon jump, and if you do the moon jump well, you'll be able to get up here, and just like that, you are at the end of the game. Basically what you're doing there is you're not waiting to get to this platform here and then boost up. You're not waiting to walk across here to get to this and then jump. You're getting the moon jump and then you're going like that, and that is the end of the game. Once you hit that bench, that is when your time stops. You do not need a other timer. The way runs are verified, it's based off of in-game time, which is the red time up there. So as long as you know all that, you are good to go to start Self. I'm soon going to be making a advanced tutorial, which will be stuff such as a lot of stuff actually, but most important being things such as soul teleports, such as my version of level 2, and I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth to stuff like laser 3. It's gonna be a much shorter video than this just because there's less stuff to know, but yeah, that's the overall stuff you need to know. So yeah, you're good to go.